It is Thursday, and that means it's time for Cuyahoga's Most Wanted, an attempt to get fugitives off our street, to clean up our community, one fugitive at a time. Every week, we work with Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County, feature 3 new fugitives, and offer up some reward money in the process to try and clean up our streets. We're going to welcome in Detective Randy Divis, filling in for Detective Red Dyer this week. Detective, how are you this morning?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us. The mission is the same. These are individuals who are facing extremely serious charges, innocent until proven guilty, but they need to get in front of a judge and off our street. Let's get to our first case. James Adams. What do we know?
James Adams is wanted on 2 warrants with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department. In one case, he pled guilty to attempted assault on a police officer in July of 2022. Reports in that case state that he headbutted a Cleveland police officer. James is also required to register as a sex offender with the Sheriff's Department due to a 2012 guilty plea to unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. James Adams has an extensive criminal history with the Sheriff's Department going back to 2007. He's 5'11", 160 pounds, and last known to be staying at the 3200 block of West 33rd Street in the city of Cleveland.
Just an incredibly individual. He's got a long list of charges there: sex assaults, attempted assault on a police officer. Not somebody we want on our street, and could be potentially dangerous if and when he's confronted. That's why the warrant unit out of the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department is so skilled at what they do. Our next case, let's get to it. What do we know about Ricky Buzzard?
Ricky Buzzard has 2 warrants with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department for not registering as a sex offender. In 2016, Buzzard pled guilty to sexual battery and gross sexual imposition. According to reports, Buzzard lured the victim to him and sexually assaulted them. The victim was able to escape and call 911. Because of his guilty plea, he is required to register as a Tier 3 sex offender. He has a tattoo on his left shoulder of the Reaper, as well as a tattoo on his left arm of an eagle and "True Love Never Dies." Ricky Buzzard is 5'10" and 175 pounds, and was last known to be staying at the 2100 block of West 81st Street in the city of Cleveland.
True Love Never Dies, an interesting tattoo for someone found guilty of sexual battery and gross sexual imposition. I think we can leave that one right there. We've got another case here and more tattoos. We've seen this in the past with some of our fugitives. Hey, face and neck tattoos are personal life choices, but when you go out and start committing crimes and you're wanted, well, now they just make you a bullseye and a target. Let's get to our next case. Devin Rosenberry. What do we know?
Rosenberry is wanted for 3 probation warrants with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department, the most serious of which is for a case where he pled guilty to aggravated assault with firearm specifications. The indictment states that he used a firearm to assault the victim. He was previously arrested by the U.S. Marshals for this case back in 2020, where he was found to be hiding under a bed. In January of 2023, he also pled guilty to aggravated vehicular assault. He can be identified by the distinct facial and neck tattoos that he has. For instance, he has the word "damaged" across his neck, "loyalty" across his left eyebrow, as well as a $sign on the right side of his forehead. Devin Rosenberry is 5'8" and 145 pounds, and was last known to be staying at the 3100 block of West 56th Street in the city of Cleveland.
What we're going to do now is I've pulled up a little bit bigger picture, and I'm going to zoom in on some of these tattoos by Mr. Rosenberry, just because they make him easy to catch. You can see the word "damaged" right there on the front of his neck. You can see the word "loyalty" above his, I believe that's his left eyebrow. A lot of neck tattoos that almost looks like a bullseye underneath his right eye, or maybe a cross. This is going to make it very easy to catch and find Mr. Rosenberry. And let's remember, loyalty, well, it may not be in such a desirable tattoo when there is reward money on the line. We're going to bring back in our detective, do a little camera work here, and actually we've lost our signal. And we've just gotten it back. Let me see if I can do a little more here and see if we can get the detective back on screen here. Of course, technical bugs happen. Scott, we're having a little bit of an issue here. Not sure why this keeps cutting out. We're going to hit cropped and we're going to do it again. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to wrap this up. This is nothing on Detective. We still have you there. We have you at least on audio. Remind us when we start talking about a reward, why it's so important here.
Well, it's important because these tips are going to help us apprehend these folks that we're looking for. It's important to know that when you call in to provide that tip, there's no caller ID. Your phone call isn't recorded. None of your personal information is asked for. We actually don't want your name. You're going to be provided with a tip. And at the end of the day, crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
Absolutely, that is the case. Three important suspects, fugitives that we want to get off our street. I'm going to show the number here, 216-252-7463. That is the number to call to get these fugitives off our street. We fixed our little technical glitch here. Detective, I'm going to ask you one more time. When we start talking about reward money, up to $5,000 to bring in any of these suspects, what do we like people to remember?
The crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
It absolutely does. That is a coined phrase by Detective Red Dyer, but Detective Divis is going to use it today. Just remind us. Again, 216-252-7463 is the number to call. You don't have to give your name. You don't have to leave your number. They don't have caller ID. They don't even record your phone call. That's why Crime Stoppers is such an incredible tool. A lot of people afraid to call. I don't want my name associated with this. I don't want this person to know I'm the one who called in. That won't happen. You're given an ID number. You call back in about 45 days. You give them your ID number, see if your tip led to the arrest, and if you're eligible for that reward money. Detective, we appreciate you filling in for Red this week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, take care. We're going to wrap this up again. Another segment, three more fugitives we'd like to get off our street. Don't hesitate to make that call. You make that call and you get a fugitive off our street. We all go to bed a little bit safer tonight. If we have any other breaking news, it'll be here on our digital platforms. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a great afternoon.